Hello again. This is the 5 Minute Tarot for the 14th of May 2017, and I may be back. In that, I may start, I'm hoping that I start posting regularly again, but I still feel kind of stuck. And I've been doubtful and unmotivated for a week or two now. Somebody, Cindy, I think in Las Vegas, did a reading for me, and I'll tell you a little about it. And also, Sergei asked a question. So let me deal with these two things today. And one is Sergei wanted to know. He made the point that with a Celtic cross, you get the recent past and the sort of short term future. But can you ask a question? Can the tarot answer a question about something that happened, let's say 8 years ago or 10 years ago, and something and give you an idea of what's going to be happening like 5 years from now? So we're dealing with a different time period. Can the tarot answer questions like that? And I think the answer is yes. So I want to make the point about a past, present, and future. I personally like past, present, and future for that kind of question. So what you do is, the question is, maybe let's deal with the past, present, and future for over a 20-year period. And it's important to remember, I think, that you don't need to use just 3 cards in a past, present, future spread. You can do 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, whatever it happens to be. So let's say you take 7 cards, past, present, future. The first 3 are the past. The fourth is the one in the middle, and that's the present, and the next 3 are for the future in chronological order. So with 7 cards, you can put a time frame on it and say, let's go back 5 years. So the first card that you lay would be what was going on 5 years ago, and then the second card would be maybe the more recent past, and then the third card is going to be the immediate past, and then the fourth card is what's going on right now, and then you've got the next step, maybe 6 months from now, and a year from now, or 2 years from now. So you can expand the time frame of a past, present, and future spread to cover whatever is of interest to the reader or to the questioner. So Sergei, yes, it can be done. It really, decide what you want and write it down, and then pick cards. And you can use 3 cards as well, like 8 years ago, today, and 8 years from now, and that'll give you an answer. Although we have to remember that with 8 years in the future, it can be difficult to know precisely what's going to happen, because we can have changed like next month or next year, and it can be hard to put yourself in a future position and future state of mind in order to understand how you'll see the future, right? Because things will happen between now and then that can change your starting point or your understanding or your expectation. And you don't know about that today at the time of doing the reading, but let's say a year from now, you're going to be a different kind of person. So it can be hard to know how that different you is going to respond to circumstances a year from now or 5 years from now. Although, if you know that, if you're asking about a particular project and you want to know about 2 years from now, and you get the Sun card, then it looks like things are going to go well, and there's purposeful development coming up. Whereas if you get the Ten of Swords reversed for 2 years from now, it's not such a pretty picture, we could say, or maybe you're going to have to redo things more frequently than you think. So that's a little bit about Sergei's question. And the other thing is, Cindy, I was kind of stuck, so I stopped doing it. She sent me an email, and and I eventually replied that I was kind of stuck, and so she did a reading for me. And so she did. The first 2 cards were how I got to the present position, and then she did 3 cards for one possible line of development, and 3 other cards for a separate line of development, and then another card for what it's all about. So I'd like to tell you about that. It was interesting what she did, but I didn't quite know what to make of it until about 5 minutes ago. I had various ideas about what it meant. So the first card we got, the Three of Swords reversed, and then the Knight of Batons reversed, and for how I got to my state of being stuck. And the card for the present, for right now, a week ago, was the Strength card. So I'm thinking, okay, I didn't quite know what to do with it, because the Three of Swords, let's say it's disappointment. So does that mean that I was disappointed, or that the people watching the videos were disappointed, or that it was people weren't that better off in terms of doing readings for other people with the videos? The thing is that I got stuck because I wasn't quite sure what to do with the videos and how to develop the tarot and what to say about it and what kind of approach to take. And that was what my being stuck was about. And so was I disappointed in what I was doing or the response I was getting from people? Or was the Three of Swords disappointment connected with the viewers who were maybe not getting enough information or help so they could deal with disappointment, their own disappointment, or maybe the disappointment that their questioners brought to the table? And then with the Knight of Batons reversed, knights are messengers. So is my message not getting across, or is there a barrier between me and you, the viewer? And so I thought the videos were quite interesting in themselves and reasonably entertaining, but maybe I was fooling myself because we've got the Three of Swords, so there's disappointment somewhere. And we've got the Knight of Batons reversed as well. So there's lack of communication, or messages are not getting through. So I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. And the big contrast as well, if I'm represented by the Strength card, that's a huge difference from the Three of Swords reversed and the Knight of Batons reversed, because I would seem to be with the Strength card in good shape, even though I was stuck and didn't really feel in great shape. So the revelation I had this morning was, I think I've been watching too much politics, because I've been taken with and interested in and following along with what's happening with Donald Trump and CNN and Fox News and all these YouTube and MSNBC. I find that I've been watching what's going on with him and sort of wanting to make sense of it and hoping it would become, I say better, but hoping it would become more normal, maybe. So I think my problem is I've been keeping up to date with what's going on in the world way too much, and it's a mistake to know what's going on in the world for various reasons. Partly because so much of it is just propaganda anyway, and you don't know what to believe, and you can have it. It's a bit like supporting a particular football team. When the team's doing well, you're happy. When the team is being beaten every week or is almost there, but then they lose at the semi-final, or they lose an important game, so their progress is impeded, and you feel miserable for a week. And so the question is, do we really want to, who do we want to spend our time with? And what kind of people do we want to spend time with? And I suppose the thing is, why do we do it to ourselves? So why was I watching about politics that I can do nothing about, that in many ways doesn't affect me anyway, because I'm in Canada and not the US, even though obviously there's a connection. And what happens in the US can have an impact on what's happening here. But nevertheless, there was a just because Margaret Thatcher, that you may remember, she once said, just because a politician gives a speech, it doesn't mean that anything has happened, that anything's been done. And so a lot of what I've been watching is people giving speeches and making decisions, but the impact in the world, or the impact in the world, is really, there is no impact in the world apart from what people go around believing. So anyway, I'm going to stop watching politics on YouTube and news broadcasts, and I'm hoping that now that my mind is shifted from inconsequential stuff to important stuff like the tarot, that I'll get back to doing regular daily videos. That's it for the moment. And thanks to Cindy. I think that's the Three of Swords reverse and the Knight of Batons reverse was me focusing on misery in the world instead of focusing on the Strength card upright, which is looking at what's actually important and becoming stronger because of it, or gaining strength from it. So let's not give away our power to politicians. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you ideally tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.